Self-realization is the key to our divine wisdom and power. Murdo MacDonald-Bayne. The cause of our troubles in the world is that we are told what to think. We become puppets expressing the ideas of those when we follow blindly. This is perhaps not apparent to us at first, not till we awaken to the fact that we have failed to do our own thinking. We have been mere sponges saturated with the ideas of others. What we need more than anything is to learn how to think for ourselves. We will then free ourselves from the burden of race thought, propaganda, and dogma that stifle our true expression. There is the age-long belief in sickness and limitation. We act as weaklings ruled by wrong thinking, and we perpetuate the error until we realize the truth about ourselves made in his image and likeness. Shakespeare put his finger on the truth when he wrote, "There is nothing either good or bad, but thinking makes it so." The fault, dear Brutus, is not in our stars but in ourselves, that we are underlings. Some are continually struggling with the thoughts that enter the mind, thoughts that are foreign to our true nature, and try to banish them without result. What we must do is to observe and understand these wrong movements, then we can deal with them. To deny these things or to struggle with them does not get us out of the net into which we have fallen. When we have become aware of these wrong movements, movements such as antagonism, sickness, jealousy, envy, selfishness, egotism, stupidity, etc., and understand them and correct the error, we do not dwell upon their defects but think more upon what we can be. The goal before us is the translation of our divine nature into our daily living. In this way only will we find true happiness and freedom. The power of thought is not a new discovery, and those who have advanced above the average have used this discovery. They have become the unusual, the extraordinary by means of their greater opportunities through the power to think constructively. It is sometimes not easy to develop the power to concentrate, yet by doing so we develop the will to do. Some have found it difficult to get rid of thoughts that interrupt the train of thought. The easiest way to overcome this is to observe the thought and understand it, and not to try to banish it or struggle with it, for this only frustrates true thinking. When you understand these interlopers, they no longer bother you. Others are continually trying to banish thoughts from their minds because they think they are evil. This is a great waste of time and energy, for their thoughts are not evil when understood, nor can they interfere with the true nature. These thoughts are natural in their natural place, and when dealt with and understood, the fear of them is dissolved away, for they have no power over the presence, the true nature. With this understanding you are freed from the illusion of fear of sin. The Christ of God is the Spirit of God manifesting in the flesh, and this is the power in man and the only power there is, for God is all power, and there cannot be any other power. That is why we are directed to take hold of the tree of life and let go of the tree of knowledge of good and evil. The tree of life is within us and is the only reality, while the tree of knowledge of good and evil is external to us, therefore relative, and has no power at all except we give it power through our belief in it. The scepter of power is this consciousness of the Christ within, and its messenger is thought, which is continually molding our invisible world, which in turn produces our environment and conditions in the objective world about us. The secret then is to discern your thinking and not allow it to attach itself to false beliefs that lead us into the wilderness. When dealing with this that is within, most people talk about it as if it was separate from themselves, consequently make it relative and imaginary. Consequently it is useless. They lost the very thing they try to find by looking without. Only through self-realization can it be found. The I Am is the foundation of eternal life and power, and we violate the law of our being when we think or believe that there is a living originating power outside the I Am. When we realize that this is impossible, we will see that evil has no power over us. Therefore we cease to react to it. We no longer eat of the tree of knowledge of good and evil, false belief, but cling to the tree of life. I am the life. As long as we limit the I Am in us to the narrow boundaries of the relative and conditioned, we will never realize that the I Am personified in ourselves is the same unfettered I Am, God, the creator of the universe. There is only one mind in which we all exist, therefore we are in contact with every soul in the world from within ourselves. When we understand this, separation is impossible, and we become aware of the unity that forever exists between us and the Father. Some believe we create this unity, but this unity is already existing as an eternal reality. What we have to do is to become aware of it through self-realization. It is the conscious thought of the infinite that keeps the universe operating according to the perfect law of harmony. It is the conscious thought of man that keeps man's world in harmony also. The universal mind supplies the power to our minds just as electricity supplies the power to the dynamo. Then let us practice thinking for ourselves, and the more we are capable of thinking for ourselves, the better the world will be, and our personal life will feel the first benefits. The invisible is not separate from the visible. Man is not separate from God. When we live in a state of separation, we react to the external, thinking it is reality or the cause of our troubles, but the cause is within ourselves. When we are aware of our unity with the Creator, there is no such reaction. We act from within and thus exercise our control, as we have been given dominion over all things external to ourselves. You should now know whether you are living in separation or moving towards the unity which is real. It is through your experiences you will know, when you note these experiences and understand them. The moment we become aware of our unity with reality, we are at peace with the universe, and we become a power that shall purge the world of all its unnecessary, stupid, childish things. In the first place, we must get rid of the personal elements of moods, likes and dislikes. You cannot do this by merely skimming the surface, but by careful impersonal examination and discernment. When we have seen these superficial, non-essential things in the life, we will begin to discover I am the central reality which no changing mood or environment can ever disturb. We must not approach them in the sense of possession, nor in the state of rivalry as to who understands more and who understands less. There is often antagonism between people approaching the same truth. The truth must become the dominant factor and not individuals. Reality must become a living, perceptible, enthusiastic realization of itself in activity through conduct. In this way, we will not lose ourselves in theories or philosophies, but are all the time translating our understanding and affection into our daily conduct. We must not lose ourselves in the discussion of reality and belief in right or wrong. Empty your mind and heart of all those things, then God will fill His own temple with His love, wisdom, and power. When we set our affection upon our Father of love, recognizing our oneness, we see how rich we really are. We see that God's name is stamped in ourselves in the name of I Am. When we turn our affection towards this living reality that abides in every individual as well as ourselves, we will remember the Master commanded, love your neighbor as yourself. Then we can become a guide, philosopher, and friend to others. Thus our conduct will be the translation of reality into conduct through self-realization. Benediction. Now I know I am one with Thee, O mighty power of love and wisdom. I will no longer fear the illusion of weakness, for I am filled with Thy everlasting strength. Living in the forest of experiences, I understand and dissolve all shades, fears, and false beliefs that have led me astray. I now only hear the voice of Thy all-conquering power of love and wisdom that leads me to Thy quiet waters and pastures green, to feast at Thy table overflowing with all good things, forever and ever. Wisdom, peace, love, and power be with you. Yours sincerely, 𝗦 MacDonald-Bayne.